In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a knock sensor on your Volkswagen Passat. This is going to be located on the back of the motor. Let's get started. Using a T15 bit, we're going to remove the 2 screws for the intake. Do the same thing on the other side. Pull the intake back off of the plastic trim. Using a pair of pliers, pinch the clamp and pull it down. Remove the intake boot off the intake. We're going to grab either side of our intake and pull straight up. And remove the intake. Here we are under the car, looking up at our splash shield. We're going to use a T45 bit, and we're going to remove the 3 rear screws. You should have 2 more right here and here. Ours only has 1. Using a T25 bit, remove the 4 screws on the sides of the splash shield. Do the same thing on the other side. Remove the engine splash shield. Looking up from the bottom of the vehicle, behind the oil pan, we have 3 10mm bolts we need to remove for our heat shield. Using a 10mm socket, remove the 3 bolts. Remove the harness from the clip, push back on the little tab, pull straight down on the harness, and remove it from the plate. Using a trim tool, we're going to remove the plastic stay for the harness. We're on top of the motor, looking down right next to our brake reservoir. We're going to grab the harness for our knock sensors, and we're going to give that a wiggle. And you're going to find 1 more plastic stay for this. There's a bracket that comes off the back of the motor. We're going to use a trim tool. Pop the plastic stay off of that bracket. You can see it moving. Remove the connector. We're going to push on the push button that's on my thumb, pull straight back and remove that connector. Using a flat blade, we're going to pop the bottom connector out. This is our second knock sensor. We're going to push on the tab that's in the back right where my thumb is and remove the connector. Using a 13mm socket, we're going to remove the bolt for our knock sensor. Remove the bolt and remove the knock sensor. Be sure to keep track of where this wire was going. This is pointing straight down. Using a 13mm socket, remove the knock sensor bolt. Pull the knock sensor harness down behind the axle. Back at the top of the car, we're going to fish our 2 knock sensor connectors down. We have to get them past this pipe. Once you get them past the pipe, you can remove the harness assemblies. We're going to go through and unsnap this blanket. Sometimes these buttons can get real corroded and won't want to come apart. If you need to, you can use a flat blade or something similar to get in between the 2 and pop it out. Open up the plastic clip. Pull the clip off to the side. Do the same thing for all of the clips. Open them up and pull the harness out. We We have one more lock on the other side. Go ahead and open that up. Pull the sheathing off of the harness. Your gray connector is going to be the shorter wire, and your green connector is going to be the longer. We have our two knock sensors. We're going to line up the two connectors. We're going to put our loom on, spread it apart, and get the two harnesses installed. We had a lock at the top of this one. Go ahead and reinstall that. Install the harness into the loom. We had another lock at the end of this one. Install the lock. Open up the plastic clips and get the harness installed into them. Close all the snaps. We're going to drop our knock sensor harness down behind the motor. We're going to push our connectors up from where we pulled them from. You have to do one connector at a time for them to fit through. Stagger your harness if you need to. Pull both of the connectors up and through. Be sure you have your loom piece sitting around the motor to protect the harness from rubbing. Now that I have my harness through, I'm going to match my two connectors so they are the same length. Install the gray connector into the bracket. This is going to go into the bottom bracket. Get it fully seated. Install the connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Repeat the same process for the top one. Get the connector fully installed and install the connector. Push until you hear a click. If you don't, give it a pull. Make sure it's locked on. Install the knock sensor with the bolt. The longer of the two knock sensors is going to go over to the passenger side. We need to make sure when we tighten this down that our knock sensor wire is facing straight down. Torque the knock sensor bolt to 20 Newton meters. Be sure that that harness stays pointing straight down. It's important to torque these bolts. The torque on this affects how the sensor will read. Install the bolt through the knock sensor and get the bolt installed. When we snug down the sensor, we need our wire on a 45-degree angle towards the passenger side. Torque the bolt to 20 Newton meters. Install the plastic stay to the bracket for the harness blanket. Install the plastic stay for the harness. Install the shield up into the vehicle. Get all 3 bolts started. Snug down all 3 bolts, get them nice and snug. Install the splash shield into place. Be sure that all of your large tabs go in and all of your small tabs stay out. Install the bolts. Get the 3 bolts in the rear started. There should be 2 more on these outsides. We only have 1. Go down the side installing all of these screws. You should have 4 on each side. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Reinstall the intake. Install the intake into place, push down on the 4 rubber grommets in the corners and lock them into their posts. Install the boot onto the intake. Be sure that it's fully installed. Pinch the clamp and pull it over. Install the intake trim into the front air dam. Get the screws started on either side. Snug the bolts down. And you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.